So hello, my name is Jean-Pierre Halkinn. I'm working in Brussels for the European Union in the Directorate General in charge of Development and Cooperation, also well known as Europe Aid. In this DG, I'm in charge of rural development, agriculture and food security, which is quite a challenging task. It has been for the last years the main field of intervention of the European Union in external assistance, and it is likely to remain extremely important or the most prominent sector of intervention between 2014 and 2020. I came to Zambia to take part to an important trip to discuss the issue of undernutrition. Undernutrition, and in particular chronic undernutrition, is the biggest cause of death among children on the planet. It kills around 3 million children each year. It is a humanitarian disaster which is avoidable. There are ways to avoid those, to prevent those deaths to happen. But undernutrition is not only a humanitarian challenge, it is also a developmental challenge. The Lancet series, which is a very recognized research journal, estimate that the GDP of some developing countries is reduced by 10 to 13% due to the issue of undernutrition. Why so? Because it goes well beyond the issue of mortality. It is because a child who has been suffering from chronic undernutrition during the 1,001st day of his life is likely to suffer from a reduced development, both physical and mental, for his whole life. It is so irreversible. This is why it is so important to change it. And by saying what I say, it is also putting undernutrition as an important point of equity, or what we call in Europe social justice. The fact that the care that the child is going to receive during the first part of his life is going to have a very important impact on his whole life. So, in order to remedy to this situation, a movement has been created. And this movement is called the SUN. SUN meaning scaling up nutrition. And the purpose of the SUN is to create a group of the willing in order to take more action to prevent undernutrition to happen. Our initial purpose when we created this movement with a few partner countries was to make sure that at least 15 countries would be committing to do more for undernutrition by 2030. What we have seen is an incredible movement of support from developing countries. Now there are 43 developing countries part of the movement, and Zambia has been one of the first early risers. They came very quickly to join the SUN movement to say we want to address the issue of undernutrition. Because in Zambia, despite Zambia being a food producing country, despite Zambia being a food exporting country, we see that the stunting rate, so the rate of chronic undernutrition among the children who are under 5 years is very high. It is estimated to be around 45 countries around the country, and in some parts of the country it is around 50%. So one child out of 2 is suffering from stunting. And we want to work on the paradox of being in a food exporting country and seeing this high level of stunting rate. We see that Zambia is already taking a lot of measures. They've also designated a focal point for the SUN, who is the Minister for Health in Zambia, who has been very active. But what we see is that in order to prevent stunting to happen, in order to prevent undernutrition to take place, we don't need only to work with the Minister for Health, we need to work with all the ministers. This is why the Zambian nutrition policy is cross-cutting, is multi-sectoral, and our goal is to help the Zambian government to implement this policy, to make sure that nutrition is becoming a priority in the most important sectors, like agriculture, food security, education, water, sanitation, hygiene. So in all those sectors we would like to see more nutrition awareness being made, more nutrition sensitive program to be developed. What are the next steps? Is that first, as the EU as a partner of the SUN will keep engaging with all partner countries to see how we can together move forward on the agenda of reducing undernutrition. That's one point. Second point is that we are at the eve of the programming of what we call the 11 CDF. And Zambia is going to receive a significant envelope. And it is also our duty as a donor to make sure that the activities we are going to finance are making sure that they contribute to the reduction of stunting. For instance, if we work in the fields of agriculture, by targeting the area where the population is suffering more severely from stunting, by developing activities that may diversify the diet, that may improve the status of the population, that may remedy to some root causes of stunting. So this is the work that we're engaging together with the Zambian government, and we expect that we may contribute to reduce the stunting level significantly in this country by 2025. One last aspect on this is that also stunting is so important that it has led the EU to take an incredible measure as development agency. Commissioner Pivas is really committed himself on the reduction of stunting. Basically, he says there is no good development program that can leave children behind suffering from chronic undernutrition. So he has pledged that the EU would contribute to reduce the number of stunted children by 7 million by 2025. And now we start engaging with countries to see which are the partner countries which are wishing to engage with us on this challenge to make sure that we succeed and we can show also progress to all stakeholders, to our taxpayers, because at the end it is something very important for development. Thank you.